Wait a minute, what am I doing? Two men and a what? Two friends from film school, one who graduated, one who did, and they decided to make a podcast. Okay, this has never been done before, right? Okay. This is Matthew and Harrison's Two Men in a Movie. It's not what it sounds like.
This is our Insidious watch. Breaking news. She tied a bunch of bras together and threw them over the Hollywood sign, possibly as advertising for a new bra line, Sid. And the reactions have mostly been, "This is what you're doing."
Sure.
Someone called her Frau Sweeney.
You care way too much what this stranger does.
I hate this woman. I know. My favorite comment. Well, I saw two. One was like, "Still doing great in MAGA's or in Trump's America, huh, Sydney?" The other one was like, "How about you spend your time and money doing something to help people, you poverty-eyed bitch?" And I just really like the concept of poverty-eyed as a insult, because I'm a big supporter of like phrenology.
That one got me.
Like, I don't think calling someone like you're in poverty is a good insult, but saying someone has poverty eyes is an incredible insult. Like, what do you do if someone just came up to you and was like, "You poverty-eyed asshole"? You're like, "Damn, that's an insult."
It would all depend on who did it.
I like just ascribing things to different people or different things. Like, just a really specific insult where you're creating a connection that doesn't exist. I once saw someone described what was the insult? I once saw someone get told that they look like if an umbrella wished to become a real boy. That's good. There's an art to it. And I think we should all work on this art and direct it at Sydney Sweetie. Because that awful woman.
Yeah, I just don't care.
She's a fascist eugenicist.
Yeah. Cool. Like, good. I mean, bad for her, bad for society. I don't care what this rich girl, I don't care what this rich girl that I have no contact with, does. She doesn't have any real world effect on anything. No one is becoming a fascist because of Sydney Sweeney. Men are jerking off to her because she's a fascist. No one is becoming a fascist because of Sydney Sweeney.
Someone's definitely become someone who is not political. Definitely was like, you know what? White genes are superior because of her.
Anyone who was quote unquote not political is already a fascist.
You can kick them to libertarian.
I said what I said.
I think libertarians, not fascism, because the NRA is a bunch of libertarian assholes, and now they're coming out against fascism.
I don't know. Libertarians are just, they're stupid and don't want to take a side.
But say what you will about the libertarian, usually not fascist. And if someone says they're a fascist, if someone's like a libertarian and like says fascist things, it's like that's the exact opposite. Because the flaw with libertarianism, why it's so bad for our society, is that it's incredibly individualistic, which doesn't really work under fascism. I mean, because they love objectivism. And say what you will about Atlas Shrugged, not a fascist book.
I don't know if at least 80% of the so-called self-proclaimed libertarians that I have personally interacted with are fascist or fascistic to some degree. And maybe they're not full-blown Nazis, but they got Nazi opinions.
You are down south where political education's weaker. The farther north you go in Ohio, the more solid political beliefs tend to be. There's a study on this.
I don't think it has to do. I think Ohio's pretty, but John Oliver once did a segment on American history, just because he was just doing a segment on something in American history. I don't remember what it was, but he named a specific history book that are taught in some schools that it's like the most right-leaning fascist history book, and it was the one that my Christian school used to teach us.
I mean, I often talk up my distaste of the South of Ohio for comedic effect and to annoy people who are not from Cleveland. But y'all really do have different textbooks down there. There really is a line you hit in Ohio where it's like, oh, this is Southern Ohio now.
Well, I had a different textbook because I went to a church school. Like
I'm
we
sure
didn't
it's
we
the
didn't have
same.
to. No, we didn't at all have to. Barely any had to follow state
I
standards.
vaguely follow Columbus politics.
Okay.
Cesspool.
Okay, I'm not from Columbus, so
Yeah, but that's the Southern Ohio.
that's literally central Ohio.
No. So I see where your misunderstanding is. So like Cleveland's Northern Ohio,
Yes.
right? Akron, that latitude
Northeast Ohio.
is that latitude. So like if you draw a line through Akron, that's Central Ohio, and like anything south of that is Southern Ohio,
Okay.
where they ride horses and learn fascist textbooks
Okay.
and are really good at cornhole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of.
Say what you will
really
about
good
the
at cornhole.
uneducated, unwashed masses of Southern Ohio. They fucking understand cornhole to a degree I never will.
You understand that for the most part, listen, they should deal with the consequences of their own actions. They are also victims of a purposefully underfunded education system. Like this whole city high and mighty opinion actually does hurt the little guy in the rural areas more than it helps them.
It's a pretty poverty brain take. This is why I want the Western Reserve to just split off so it's all good. I don't know. Minnesota isn't like rich, and they're pretty left leaning.
I don't know enough about it.
Minnesota hasn't voted Republican like for presidential election since '76. I think was the only state not to vote like for Reagan. Granted, this is because they have like 30 people and they all live in one city. But
yeah, I was like, you have Minneapolis, St. Paul.
I guess even the rural areas like are a lot more Democratic leaning than not.
I would have to look. Then it is probably because their education is well funded or better funded than the rest of the country, which is a purposeful Republican.
My city's superiority. Like I get it's because of the education and stuff, right? But after like how many fucking terrible elections I've had to sit through, where you look at them, you look at the electoral map, and no matter like what it is, like or who it is or who won, like it's like the city areas are blue and
Yes.
everything else is red.
And that's by design. It's designed to split the country against each other. And you underfund the education system in rural areas, and then you can the more you underfund, the worse the education is going to be, and the more you can convince them to believe whatever you want them to believe. Like the reason the King James Bible is
Bad.
the most used Bible amongst the Protestant church is because it's written at a college level, and most Americans, especially in rural areas, can't read higher than like a 5th or 6th grade level. So it's really easy to control what the message is when most of the people can't understand the message deep enough to argue back. And
I don't think most, and not because of it being at a college grade level. I just don't think most Americans are reading the Bible to begin with, even if it was at an easier level. Like you see it with the evangelical like Christians. I don't think reading the Bible is a thing that they would do even if it was easy.
No, they trust their pastor to read it, but those who do read the Bible, quote unquote. But like, what happens is you take. You underfund the education. You have therefore you have like churches are one of the only community centers really in these rural areas. And if you have a Bible that is written at a level that they can't understand, which is why most churches don't use the New International Version, which isn't a great translation either, but it's like a simpler translation and purposefully. But because they use this higher translation, it's so that the religious right and the like people in charge of these community centers like have control over their masses because they don't understand the message enough to argue back. You underfund the education system so that you can like insidiously get in and control their control the message and get these people to vote against their best interest. Like as much as they are like villains, they are also victims of their circumstance, which is what makes it so frustrating. Like being from there and loving some of these people and like having conversations where it's like, where It's just like I know you believe this, and I know from like where you're standing that this makes sense, and I promise you it doesn't. This was the plan from the start, this was the plan at least from the Reagan administration, was to purposefully underfund rural areas, and the high and mighty city ideal of like, well, it's their own damn fault. Yes and no, because again, most of them didn't stand a chance to begin with. Like, you can't expect someone to know something when they were taught something actively different. Like, it's just very, I don't know. It's just very, it's frustrating from both ends. As someone who like hates where I come from personally, but loves some of the people there, and I mean, hates Akron in general, but like, it doesn't really identify with like city either, that I view these two worlds and I'm like, you look down on us, and that's not going to convince us to join you. Like, and in a world where it is rural against city, you do need enough of us to like be on your side. I'm not saying you need all of us, but you do need like a certain percentage of us to be on your side, which is every election comes down to basically the city folk versus rural folk. And I don't know. It's just, it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
I mean, that's why I think we just need a population-based election instead of district. You know, where the popular vote is, I guess, I think should be
more today. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm way more on board now.
Because most Americans live in cities, I'm pretty sure. Like the reason Trump won was because he won cities. That's where everyone lives.
It's not where everyone votes, but it is where everyone lives. Yes. One of the reasons Trump won large scale is because he won rural areas and convinced people to vote against their best interest, and convinced people to like rural communities vote more than city communities, like large scale.
And it's because he only won the popular vote once. It's because, and I guess that's where a lot of my frustration with rural areas come from, is that they have such an impact on like American politics and American life, and they're like 20% of America.
And they should have an impact on American politics and American life. I'm not saying that I don't know if it should be like basically every election be a 50-50 split, but I do think that the mindset of looking down on rural communities isn't going to help them, and you do need them to survive.
That's not even my mindset is that if 80% of Americans want something, then it should happen, because that is the vast majority of Americans. That's democracy. There's I mean, all this goes back to the founding fathers, all the fucking plantation owners being like, well, we want to say in politics because there's 5 of us and 3,000 slaves, like most of the population is slaves, but there's like 10 white people. Why don't we have the equal say as Philadelphia? And it's like, you shouldn't. You're 5 fucking people. Land isn't people.
Then the 80% of people who live in cities need to vote. Like, the thing is, the 20% of people who live in these communities want their voice heard because they know that it isn't heard any other time.
I would even say, though, that like if we were doing a popular vote, we wouldn't have Trump right now because he wouldn't have won the first election. I don't think he would have come back for a second.
I agree. Like, I'm on your side. The dude shouldn't be president. Yeah. The system isn't working as intended. I just think that, I don't know, blaming the people who were set up to fail from the beginning isn't solving the problem.
It won't solve the problem, but if we do like popular vote, right?
Sure.
The people they may want in won't get in.
Most of the time now.
But the people who do get in generally support the things that will help them. They are set up to fail, but they never vote in their best interest.
Right, because they're set up to fail.
So like we need a period where the educated people win, because the only way we're going to get them out of that loop is if the people they want elected don't win. So like that's why I'm saying we need a direct democracy. Because I agree that they're in a bad position, but it's never going to get better unless we let the people who are in a better position make the decisions for a while until we get that generational changeover.
Mostly I agree. If there is a way for their industries to have voices, maybe not like large swaths of the community, but if there is a way to maintain rural communities and the industries that they provide.
I mean, the industries have way more sway than the people do.
That, like,
American agriculture has incredible sway over politics, all things considered.
Sure. If there is a way
there's a state referendum to just improve education.
Mm-hmm.
Taxes go up, a tax levy to improve education statewide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be the one voting for it. They're not.
Sure.
I understand that they have monetary concerns.
Yes.
But also they are conditioned to be against taxes as a rule.
In general, yes. If there is, I don't know. Because my fear is that if only the cities make all of the decisions, then rural communities disappear. And
I don't think that's gonna.
That's my catastrophizing worst case scenario. I'm not saying that would happen
that
immediately.
That would require rural people to be moving to the cities, which in my experience with rural people is not something they're gonna fucking do.
Or turning their communities into cities.
I mean, you're the city walker, like the day walker, like Blade.
Yeah,
you're White Blade. And like you don't want to move to a city.
No.
Yeah, you're a person who's comfortable in cities does not want to move to a city.
I don't want to retire in a city. I want to live in a city for a few years, make my money, and leave.
Yeah, that's like the rural communities are not going to disappear because those people don't want, like, there's people from the cities who move out to rural areas even because it's the vibe. And I'm not sure that those areas are going to become cities because, like, look at Hudson. Hudson passed fucking laws to prevent it from becoming like a city. Like, they're not going to do that. There'll still be the cultural divide.
If we can maintain that, absolutely.
And you look at like other countries where like the education, it's less like stark, the educational divide. Let's take France for example, or Greece. I think is a good example because in France they're both doing pretty well, and in Greece they're both doing bad. But like there's still tons of rural areas. Or like England's probably like the closest comparison to us. Tons of rural areas.
Sure.
And they don't move to the cities because there's still that cultural divide. There's still because when you're raised in an area where you have space, going to a city feels suffocating. And when you're raised in a city where you don't have much space, going to the country feels desolate.
I don't. It's not just space. Space is part of it. It's more community, but like I get what you're saying.
And there are different types of communities, and they're as a city person, I'm not going to find a comparable community as easily. It's going to take a lot of work for me to find a community I'm comfortable with in the country because I'm used to like more city-based communities where the country is more like, you know, they have their like it's very church-based for one.
Yeah, it's church. It's local government, and it's like it's families basically.
And versus like the city where it's like my community is Ohio City, a very distinct part of a larger city. It's the borough concept.
Sure. I don't know. I want to live in like New York City or Chicago for a few years and like build a name and build a name and be a part of a scene. But my end of life dream, if I could retirement plan, I'll never retire, but my end of life dream retirement plan is I want to open like a bookstore bar in a place like my hometown, like a nice little like, I don't know, Raiders Cove.
I'm gonna try to retire to Lakewood. When I retire, I'm gonna retire 401k, baby, unless the stock market crashes.
I don't know if you do it on purpose, but you keep calling it a 410k.
And I barely understand how it works.
And it's a 401k.
Look, all I know is I give like 5%, which is matched, and I look at a number and it goes up. That's all I know. I have no idea what it actually involves. I don't know why it's called that. I have no concept of what's happening. I think it's connected to the stock market. I don't know anything. Much to Mel's constant frustration, I know very little about, or little to nothing about investment. Besides the thing is like, I have stock, and that goes up sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I feel generally okay, positive about the stock, about like our financial situation. I think the AI bubble's gonna burst is gonna be rough.
Do you think it's going to be the whole of AI, or do you think it's going to be like social media, where it is like two companies?
No, social media is gonna keep going. Social media is
but the social media bubble burst, where it's like all of the smaller products like disappeared. But there are still like three companies.
Every major AI company's making no money.
Sure. Okay.
So I think it's gonna be.
You think it's gonna be all of them?
I think the ones that are gonna survive are the smaller ones.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be the ones that's like, yeah, we have like an office and we make AI for like gene sequencing.
Sure.
That's going to be fine. But this AI that's popped up out of nowhere in the past couple of years is going to crash. It's early enough into my retirement savings that I think I'll recover from it. And also, I think the Pope's going to save me because he came out again to be very angry about AI. He attacked it on literally every level you can attack AI on.
Yeah.
He attacked it on a financial level, on an artistic level. He spent a while talking about how it is a crime against God. I think he might have called it like an idol, which rocked. I'm really glad we have young Chicago Pope who can comprehend what AI is, so he can talk about how bad it is.
Yeah,
like that's my favorite thing with the papacy so far. Is he's just constantly like, "Fuck AI, hey oh, fuck AI." So yeah, I think I'll retire. I mean, probably if not if I had to move to a city that like wasn't Cleveland, maybe Boston. I really fell in love with Boston when I was there.
I love Boston. I love Boston so
I really
much.
fell in love with Boston.
I would want to live in like one of the suburb or rural communities outside of Boston, but still be able to go to Boston. My dream,
like a Quincy.
My actual goal, dream, what I want is I want to live in like a rural New Jersey, like an hour and a half away from New York City.
Quincy would be a good choice because I stayed like right next to Quincy when I was in Boston, and there like the line's right there. It's like Cleveland, but less. It's northeastern or it's East Coast Cleveland to me. That's the vibe I get. It doesn't have the Midwestern identity on it, but it's the same kind of city to me. That's the same feel.
I've always said that the reason I tend to it's a thing in my family. I am
also way better transportation.
It's a thing known in my family. I am weirdly very attracted to Pittsburgh women. It's I used to have this game with my boss where he would like Google image. I don't know if I could still do it.
What are the qualities of a Pittsburgh woman?
It's almost the exact midpoint between a Clevelander and a Boston woman, and I can't explain it to you verbally.
I can't even tell you what a Boston. I can't tell you the difference between a Boston and a Cleveland woman.
Oh, I can.
What are they?
I mean, not.
Tell me what a Cleveland woman is. Tell me what a Boston is.
I can't like verbalize it, but I can absolutely I can tell you the difference. My mother's a Boston woman, but
is she hot?
Sure, she's my mom. She's very beautiful. Hey, mom. I think anyway. It's the exact midpoint of like a Cleveland and a Boston woman, and it's where the two converge, which you think it would be like Philadelphia, which is closer to the midpoint between the two, but weirdly it is Pittsburgh.
Philadelphia is its own beast.
But I used to have this game with my boss where he would Google image a woman, and I could tell with like 85% accuracy if she was from Pittsburgh. I don't know if I could still do it today. But when I worked at this, when the tours come in, I immediately can tell people from Pittsburgh without them having to say. I was working the student center, and I was talking to a family, and the manager came and started talking also, and asked, "Where are you guys from?" And I could tell by the way the mom looked. I almost answered, "She's from Pittsburgh," but I didn't.
That would have been insane.
I stopped myself.
Yeah, that's good.
The mom was like, "We're from Pittsburgh."
That would have been insane to do.
But I knew it. I innately knew it. And it's not the accent. I can't tell a Pittsburgh accent. I don't know what a Pittsburgh accent is. But there's something of the way these women carry themselves that so attractive.
You look at them and you're like, these people do not trust bridges because they think all bridges collapse.
It's the perfect combination of like Cleveland, I want to kill myself, and Boston, I want to kill you. Like, it's, I want to kill you and I'm actively choosing not to. And it's all Pittsburgh women are beautiful.
Also, just like the one thing Boston has over Cleveland, just better transportation, way more walkable.
Yeah, 100%. I love Boston. I would absolutely.
I love
to.
I love whatever they call their train. I'm blanking on it. Beeline? That doesn't sound right. No, I love that. It is such a nice. It has the feeling of the trains in Cleveland, which I really enjoy. Like that kind of like classic, not mid-century, but like the kind of like the 70s, 80s, 90s, like a feeling to it. But it's like everywhere. And if you lived in Quincy, like you would like to in a small area, you can just hop on, take like a 15-minute ride to downtown. As soon as you got out of the station, you were like less than 5 minutes from the Samuel Adams brew house. And you can sit down there with a little beer, a little pierogi.
Boston's main flaw is that it's too expensive, and that nearly everyone there who operates at like within the day-to-day on a higher level is richer than I'll ever be.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like also being from a poorer rural area. Not that Lancaster was like dirt poor, but like a generally poorer rural area. I hate rich people, and it frustrates me so much listening to them like talk.
I think if I had to choose a different start for another go around, I'd be from like a well-to-do Boston family, not like a banking family because I detest bankers, but like trying to think of other industries. There's banking. What else do people do in Boston?
Anyway,
I'm completely blanking on any other career
from
path.
a well-to-do
Doctors. You know
Sure.
what? My parents would be from a successful law firm that does a lot of public advocacy cases. Maybe not like a lot of like this person has no money, we're gonna help them, but they take a lot of cases that like help the community and stuff.
Sure.
Like they're very community minded. They're like old. Like I have a picture of my great grandfather, a painting next to him of George Washington or something, and I'm just some big-titted Boston broad, you know?
Sure.
Welcome to the Two Men in a Movie podcast, where each week one man shows another man a movie he can't believe he hasn't already seen. As always, I'm your big-titted broad of a host, Matthew Olenchek. Joined as always by my co-host and co-husband, Harrison Poole. Also big-titted? Are you busty? Would you describe yourself as busty?
No, I would describe myself as fat. Like, I have, like...
Those are two distinct beings. Fat and busty are they're not equal. You can be one or the other, or both.
I would not describe myself as busty. No,
because I think the saddest thing aesthetically for like a woman with a lot of weight is when she don't got them big titties. I feel bad for them because I'm like, that's the one thing you could be like, at least I have huge tits now, right? But you don't get them, and then you look more like an egg. You lose kind of like your shape.
You know, I genuinely thought that was going to be the place we stopped. And then I didn't realize you never introduced the show. So I picked the movie this week. Before we talk about it, trigger warning for suicide. Like, this is what the movie is about. I love this movie. I think this movie speaks about it very frankly and honestly, and neither glorifies nor condemns. But I also understand not being in a headspace where one feels safe enough to watch something about this.
Everyone knows we're a pretty pro-suicide podcast, so I don't know if we need this trigger warning.
Not everyone. There are very few things that I think trigger warnings are like the big things trigger warnings are appropriate for, and this is one of the big things. As much as we can argue that they're overused, this is a time where I actually think, like, if you are not in a headspace where you can handle these frank conversations about it, then maybe skip this episode and skip this movie. With that being said, I picked the movie this week, and I picked 2006's Wristcutters, A Love Story.
I'm going to get out of the way. Think it's mid. I'm sure it's better if you like the genre. I just don't. I'm not saying that my opinion is the definite value of this movie. Personally, I found it mid. But I just don't like, I don't like whimsical things. I don't like romances really in movies. I don't like a movie that's a romance. I like a romance in a movie. But there were things I liked a lot about this movie.
Yeah.
I liked the weird amount of cameos. Not cameos, I guess just castings. The actors that popped out, I went, huh. I liked that they, because I got the vibe. I had to look it up, but the musician is based off of like Go. What's his name? He's a band I like.
Gogol Bordello?
Yeah. Apparently that was inspiration for him. I like that. And I like that this movie takes the correct view that Catholicism esprouses, that suicide is essentially to a special kind of like punishment.
Yeah.
I like that this is a good Catholic movie.
I'm gonna be frank. This is maybe my favorite movie I've ever brought to this podcast. This is a top 25 movie for me. Period. I've seen this a dozen times. I love this movie. I saw this movie 10 years ago. I saw this movie 10 years ago expecting an entirely different thing and walked away being like...
After watching this movie, if someone asked me, is this in Harrison's top 10? I go, yeah, probably.
Top 25, yeah.
Yeah, like it is aggressively a movie that you would love. I do find it very unique. It falls in that category we don't hit on too much, which is aggressively a movie one of us loves that the other person's completely indifferent on.
Yeah.
Which you don't hit too often. I think every time we've hit on the podcast, it's been this type of movie.
I love how honest and frank this movie is about. So for a movie literally titled Wristcutters, it is not. I went into this expecting like a dark comedy at like 18, expecting it like an edgy comedy, and I walked away with a beautiful fucking like frank and earnest conversation about suicide and how it affects the world around you and the people who love you in a way that neither glorifies nor condemns the people who commit it.
I would have changed the name of the movie if I made it.
The original, it's based off a short story called Neller's Happy Campers. They named it Wristcutters because it's named after a bar that was there, that was on set that they shot at. Or not they shot at, but like it was named after a bar in the city.
I would have named it Courtney Loving It.
It's based off of a short story called Neller's Happy Campers that I have not read, that I want to read. I know couple things. I know the Desiree character, the girlfriend's character, and the black hole in the car are wholesale new to the movie. But it's only like 101 pages, and so it's really easy to pretty faithfully adapt.
Yeah.
That from what I understand, it's a pretty faithful adaptation he added stuff, he didn't so much change a lot.
That's something completely unrelated. I mean, it's related to adaptions, but currently in one of the threads, they're posting the Valerian storyline for the original like French comic.
Mm-hmm.
Valerian and the missing ambassador. And it's the one the movie's based off of that we've both seen.
Yeah.
Brandon was on for that episode. And I'm pretty amazed by how much they've changed it, but also how faithful the change is. Like, they've only moved things sideways.
Sure.
I was like, oh, like there's some things like it's following like the same. They've added some stuff, like they added the whole market scene, but like they go to like, it's not called the City of 1,000 Doors, but it's the same fucking thing. And then they're talking in the human thing, and then everyone gets put in goo cocoons, and the Valerian fucks off, and then the three little weird guys come up. The design for the creature that poops things is exactly the same, and it works in the exact same way. I forget the name of that very famous director, but he does great work.
Luc Besson?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you really just took this and kind of tweaked it to make it your own a bit. But other than that, I'm amazed by how faithful that adaptation is.
So, people who commit suicide don't go to heaven or hell. They go to essentially a purgatory-esque place where everything is exactly the same, just a little worse.
I think a great example of purgatory.
Yes.
That's a great example of purgatory.
The opening shot of this movie, like the opening 90 seconds of this movie where Zia kills himself, is so striking and so truthful and honest of, I can't die in a messy room. Everything has to be in order so that when I go, there's not a mess for people to clean up in addition to me. I will be the only mess they have to clean up. And also there's I forget what it's called, but it's a documented thing in psychology of people have these bright moments of I'm gonna get everything done before.
Let's talk about mom. I forget how we got on that topic. Something about suicide. We were talking about suicide, and I think you came up. and she was really confused by the concept of you getting good grades and doing suicide. And I'm like, I mean, but you rarely know someone's about to kill themselves. Like, there's like if you know someone's about to kill yourselves, it's like week of at most, probably day before.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a thing where you're like, oh man, I'm just. I guess I'm gonna kill myself. Time to spend all my money on drugs and quit my job and just start shitting in the middle of the roof.
No.
Like,
I'm gonna the
suicide is abrupt.
Yeah, the 3 to 6 times in my life where I have actually like either tried or been on the brink of trying, that decision was made within 72 hours. Yeah. But I can't remember if I first saw this movie in a bad headspace. I know I expected it to be edgier and darker, but I don't know if I wanted that or if that's just what I thought.
You thought it was going to be edgy and dark and not like a car trip romance movie.
Right. Instead, it's a very delightful, very sincere, emotionally honest love story that speaks on the idea of God and of man and what does one mean when you are misplaced in life. I love this movie, but I don't remember if I was in like a I want to kill myself headspace when I saw this. I probably not. It was probably in a weird period where I was like fine for, you know how sometimes you're just fine for a little while.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it strikes me every time that the opening shots of him cleaning up his room, and I in my head I've been like, I've done that exact thing. I've done that exact thing of, I don't know. I've done that exact thing and I can't explain to you why, other than like, I will be the only mess they have to clean up. But even then, that's not really what it is.
Yeah.
It
just feels right.
Yeah. I can't die in a dirty room. Like,
what are you, a gross person?
But, but they go to purgatory and everyone who dies there or everyone who lives there has killed themselves except for McCall. She accidentally OD'd. But everyone who lives there has killed themselves.
It's always weird to me that we call it like, the like accidental overdose is the modified version. I think like purposeful overdose should be the modification there. It's apropos of nothing. I just feel like there's a lot more accidental overdoses than there are purposeful ones on the grand scheme of things. I don't know why we always single out as like, oh, this person overdosed accidentally. Like, I feel like we should just assume it's an accident.
I think because accidental overdose, for the most part, is I had too much wine and 2 Xanax.
Yeah.
Purposeful overdose, even if accidental, is I injected a needle in my arm.
Yeah.
And because she injected a needle in her arm, the universe thought that it was, the people in charge thought that it was on purpose.
Another reason why it's a Catholic movie.
Yeah,
God don't play. Spirit of the rule? What is that? There's only one spirit, and that's the Holy Spirit.
It's Tom Waits, baby. Tom Waits is the people in charge.
It's fucking nuts. That's Tom Waits.
Who else, though? Who else would it be? Honestly, I'll be honest. I'll be real with you. I kind of expect real life Tom Waits to have some angelic power. But, and when he's, just the fact that existence there is the line, I've thought about killing myself again, but decided not to. Like, I can't imagine the next place is better or something to that extent. Like, what if the next place is worse than this one? And that everyone there is so desensitized to it that the closest thing we get to an edgy suicide joke is at the bar when the 2 women are guessing how people offed themselves. Yeah. And like, even that's just like what you would do if you knew everyone in this bar killed themselves.
Yeah, you want to know how.
It's that morbid thing, that morbid human natural thing of how did they die? But the idea that knowing that everyone killed themselves both immediately removes the taboo of talking about it, but also doesn't remove the taboo at all because some people are still going to be sensitive about it, which is a bizarre form of just like the way we would naturally like if I were to picture a world where everyone killed themselves, it would be pretty similar to the world of Wristcutters. I don't know if I would believe in, I don't know if I would believe in like the Neller's camp people in charge of the little miracles, but the like, it's just slightly worse.
He hates miracles.
Okay. But
I mean, there's a bar.
Multiple, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a mechanic shop.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
It operates exactly like our world. It's just a little worse.
Assuming that's consistent, that's a consistent state of being that it's in, it could be a little better in a bit.
If more families were like Eugene, like Eugene's family would be the weird outliers.
Like
you wouldn't have your mom and dad and your brother.
Waking up in that world, I'm definitely going to be less like stressed about what's going to happen in the world today.
Absolutely. But like you would maybe have one of them, but that would be like a weird anomaly and you would want to know that person. But I love Eugene's family. I think all of them in their like little like idiosyncratic, like I think the fact that the dad killed himself because the son was gay in a way that they made it feel honest, in a way that didn't feel like they made it feel honest in a way that like is homophobic. But the fact that the son then kills himself and still chooses to live with the father and they just don't talk about it. Like there is just
it just reset the status quo.
It just reset the status quo. Like is beautiful, is shitty and beautiful. And all of the relationships in the movie feel honest in a way that like Eugene and Zia feel like fast, real friends in a way that like they frustrate this movie also, by the way, is 88 minutes long or 84 minutes of like actual movie, and it tells such a compact story, but at no point feels like it's rushing, and no point feels like it's like skipping plot points to because it has to. Everything feels like it's developing at a fairly natural pace.
I don't know if friends ever, I don't think anyone's ever frustrated by me.
Okay. The amount of times I've openly said how frustrated I am with you.
I just assume you're being silly.
You're okay. You're so annoying. But But even like McCall and Zia's relationship, where he's constantly searching for Desiree, but slowly falls in love with this other woman, that feels like it progresses naturally in a way that like they're strangers. And then, oh, I think this person's funny. I think this person's charming. You hurt my friend. Like, why would we hurt her? Oh, I have this chance to help her. And it feels like very organic and honest. And even when like they end up kissing on the beach, that in that scene could have felt like it was like taking a jump that wasn't set up. That I think it feels like that is like a natural thing. And oh my God, the next morning when they realize that it's like a prostitute drug addict like beach with needles spread overward, and you had this like pure moment of like beauty and love, and then immediately contrasted with like it's like dirty and dangerous.
Yeah, I assume that's how all the beaches are.
Is just wonderfully done and so simply done. I don't want to talk a lot about the plot of this movie because I do want people to watch it. But it's a road trip movie where Zia is, after it, learns that his girlfriend when he was alive also killed herself. And so she has to exist in this world. And so it's a road trip movie on him trying to find her. It is called Neller's Happy Campers because Tom Waits plays a character named Neller who runs like a camp of like stragglers where miracles happen.
Not a concentration camp.
No, but like a camp of like like a ragtag group of like stragglers and let's build our own little community. And I just feel like this movie could have gone so horribly wrong so fast that it's such a simple and seemingly effortless execution of an idea that I understand that this movie was a Sundance Institute movie where they worked with the Sundance Institute and rewrote it and like got a little bit of a budget. So
that
basically
explains the sometimes like this person's in this movie.
Yes.
Which I wasn't necessarily like I was like, how'd they get this person in?
And this movie was shot over 30 days, but he had written it over several years. So it was one of those, like, I've had this idea forever, hurry up and make your movie kind of situations. Yeah. This movie is so, like, seemingly well-constructed because he worked on it for years, but that it feels effortless. Like, in many ways, what I love about Wristcutters, among a lot of things, is how naturalistic. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Is I love how naturalistic this movie is in a way
how
that
it just
like
kind of vibes.
It feels like a dude set up a camera and like
that the dude went to purgatory.
It does,
and just set up a camera.
It does. It feel not like a literal documentary, but like a documentary like style where it's like he was just capturing these three real people's conversations. The fact that they can't smile in purgatory and so they have to emote with their eyes and their voice, and like they have to find new ways to like get their point across. Like most of human communication is nonverbal, but when you take out the entire bottom half of your face, all of the they barely feel like performances. I don't know what this dude managed to do and how he managed to direct all of these actors.
I have no idea what this guy did.
I don't know what he did to capture this, because it literally feels like these three people just happened to really exist and just happened to really be having this road trip in a way that it's such a fantastical idea that he grounded in such reality, and everyone is giving a naturalistic performance with just their eyes, which is so bizarre and difficult, and that this movie was accomplished on a $1 million budget.
Maybe they just got into the groove of it. You know, maybe there's something about only acting with your eyes that unlocks something.
Maybe the idea that like you have to work within the box so much that like you then have to figure out the rules. Yeah,
the boxes can be very strong.
But Eugene as a character in most movies would be treated as comedic relief, and he's the grounded emotional one who, yes, is like creepy and has like his own comedic moments, and like,
are you saying he's creepy because he's gay?
He's not gay. His brother's gay.
You're right. I mixed it up. Are you saying he's creepy because his brother's gay?
No, I'm saying he's creepy because he constantly tries to sleep with McCall after she repeatedly says no.
Saying he's creepy because he's straight?
No, I'm saying he's creepy because he was being creepy.
You avoided my trap this time. One of these days, I'll get you, Harrison Poole. I'll get you canceled.
But Eugene is a cartoon character. If dialed slightly off, he's a cartoon character.
I think that's a very real. I mean, we know a lot of people who are just dialed off cartoon characters.
Who that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's very realistic.
If you like, I don't know. I don't know to name names off the top of my head, but like you dial them 10 degrees and they're a farce. Eugene is like, you dial him 10 degrees and he's like the comedic relief foreign character in a shitty like teen movie. And he's not. He's very grounded. And McCall is. Everyone here feels like they're real people, even to the extent of the cult leader and Desiree falling for the cult leader because she was in mourning and she like fell for this dude because she was in deep emotional distress. And
He's also very handsome.
Will Arnett is very handsome and
He's
charming.
a handsome man.
And I'm not going to spoil the end of this movie. It's beautiful and heartwarming and earnest, and I think the dark comedy version of this movie that I was expecting is the worst movie. Is a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's
like if this tried to be a comedy, it'd be fucking cringy as shit.
But it's also deeply funny at points. There are like, I'm never like crying, cackling, but in my head, I'm like,
Well, yeah, there can be funny moments, but it's not like a comedy.
if we wanted to talk about the specifics of this movie, I could talk about this for hours, but I don't want to talk about the specifics because I desperately want people to watch it.
Great choice for your movie podcast.
This is a top, but no,
I know.
I'm trying. I hope I'm selling this well. Like
you are. I don't want to talk about this movie, so I'm going to bring it to my podcast where I talk about movies. It's just a funny concept.
Well, here's the thing. Also, if you liked this movie more, I probably would like try and dig deeper into the specifics. But the fact that like, I don't expect everyone to be as in love with this movie as I am, but like the fact that you don't seem to like want to dig into the specifics, and I don't want to force you, and so like I'm trying to like pivot into like just watch this movie. This is a top 25 movie for me. I love it deeply.
If it sounds like a movie you would like, you're going to love it.
Yes.
That's my promise to you. Is if this sounds like a movie that you're like, oh, I might like that, you're going to fucking love it.
And on that note, I do want to do socials.
Yeah, I can do socials. If you want to see me kill myself, you can find me at Midwest_magician, where I'll have a Harrison recorded and post it. If you want to send us your suicide note, we'll read it out live on air.
See, this is the shit that I didn't want this episode to turn into.
You can send it to 2minutemoviepodcast@gmail.com. Unfortunately, as someone who's tried to kill himself many times, I'm very, very glib towards it.
I mean, same,
yeah.
but also that I was trying
We
to
had a trigger warning.
Okay, whatever.
We had a trigger warning.
Okay, just go.
If you want to see our YouTube, something suicide based on there, but it exists, 2 Men and a Movie podcast. And if you want to follow the show's Instagram, where Harrison will be posting a 10-step guide to suicide a la masterclass, including prep, things to consider afterwards, and the various ways you can do it, that will be on there. He will. There's an entire video on just how to tie the perfect noose.
You can find me on Instagram, probably not TikTok anymore, and Threads.
For your suicide affirmations?
No.
Just you looking dead into a camera. Do it.
At harrisonpoole.com. That's HARRISONPOOLEDOTCOM. harrisonpoole.com. Or you can find me on Letterboxd at HGPOOLE124, where I gave this movie 5 stars. I love it so much. Thank you so much to Tristan Hostetter for our theme music. Thank you guys for listening. Tune in next week for Red 2. So long and good night. Anyway,
hugs and kisses.
I love you.
Kill yourself. Do it.
I love you. You frustrate me so much.
Do it.
This is Matthew and Harrison's 2 Men in a Movie. It's not what it sounds like.